You don't want to grab a long.
You don't have as much reach with that though. No. We probably need to back off the stabbing part.
You thought we're overthinking this here. I just asked what we're going to use, not how.
We're just asking about what grip you're going to use to hit them with it.
By any means necessary.
Okay. All right, I'm going interlock. Normal grip, interlock. In the story. Welcome back to episode 52 of the Loggerhead Golf Podcast. Weekend recap. Obviously, if you turn on your TV, you're going to see Rory, and Rory. And then, so got another win at Quail Hollow. I think 4th win, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool to, unfortunately, Xander has to play golf on Sunday. That's all we can say. We're 4 weeks deep into this. And well, did he lose or did he just get beat?
He got beat.
Both. He just got beat.
Well,
his putter cooled way off on the back 9. And then he got to 15, 16, and 17 and just couldn't hit a golf shot. Still, though, I mean, Rory went what? How many birdies and
what? He went 8 under through 8 holes.
There you go. That's hard to beat.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard to beat.
He won by 5 with a double bogey on the last hole.
Yeah.
And they were pretty much tied going into the back 9.
By the time he made the turn, yeah. Well, in the words of Caleb Ridings, be better.
Yeah. No, that I think that was the first event that I've watched, first elevated event that I watched. And the only reason why I watched that because the Myrtle Beach event finished a lot earlier than Quail did. So when the Myrtle Beach event ended and I listened to the champion's interview, I switched it over and I think Rory was on like 11 or 12. And I saw he like eagled 10. I missed the long eagle putt he made on 10. And then he made another eagle on what? Well, I guess that was 16.
Yeah.
He holed the bunker shot. But you could tell that based off of how fast Xander Schauffele was playing, like at the point
was
where
ready
he
to
knew,
pack it in.
Because the next closest player was Ben Ann at 9 under. So, I mean, it's a great week to finish second.
Better than finishing first at Myrtle Beach, right?
I think second place still got $1 million.
Yeah. Jesus. 2.4, I think.
That's how much second place got?
Yeah, because Myrtle Beach only got paid out $1.2 million or 1.4, and second place at the elevated event was more than that.
So did third place because Chris Gotterup only got $700,000 for winning the Myrtle Beach event.
Yeah, because the purse was $4 million, I think, for Myrtle Beach. I just think
it was $3.6 million to the winner.
That's it.
I mean, that's it, right? That's crazy.
But that back 9, that was like old school Rory. I mean, I think I texted in our group chat after Kyle sent something. I was like, that's video game stuff, what he was doing.
2.1 for second place.
Yeah, Xander. And 1.3.
And 1.3 for third.
That was close.
Jason Day, 880.
So just like Xander Schauffele's second in the FedEx Cup because he's like been a top 5 machine this year.
Oh, yeah.
He's still almost 2,000 FedEx Cup points behind Scotty Scheffler.
Did Scott? I didn't even see this guy play.
He didn't.
No. He and his wife had their kid.
Oh,
but he's that good.
Good for him. Congratulations.
He's in Kentucky right now. So
yeah, he showed up yesterday. So, but I think the cool thing is Rory always plays well at Quail, right? Quail is pretty much you could drop Valhalla on the Quail, and they're going to look like identical golf courses. I think I saw something where, based off of tour averages on a premium on driving, short game, scrambling, iron play, and putting, the closest thing to Valhalla is Quail Hollow.
So how much are you betting on Rory for next week or this week?
I'm not betting anything. I'll tell you that. I'm not betting anything on anyone, but I can see him on the leaderboard. But
well, he was definitely going to be on the leaderboard. Yeah, he's going to be on it. Just where?
He could miss the cut and not be on the leaderboard.
Well, but still, he's on it for Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, these PGA Tour players haven't played events with a lot of cuts recently.
Right.
So.
But, I mean, there's got to be a ton of people putting down.
Yeah, well, it's because of the stat. Last time Rory won the week before Valhalla, he won at Valhalla. So it's...
Yeah, well, he still won at Quail Hollow.
Well, no, when he the last time he won a major
in
here.
2014.
He won the week
week
before.
Oh, okay.
And so they're saying the stars are aligning again. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say, before we get in more of the Valhalla stuff, Myrtle Beach event kind of showed up.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I got to caddy Wednesday. I caddied in the Joe Highsmith, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, and Joseph Bramlett group. So I had 3 AMs, minus I carried 1 bag, and then they brought buddies who caddied for them. But it's a pretty cool experience to see Dunes Club and the sense of I've never seen it like that before.
So is that the first time you've seen Dunes Club?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you
Is
think
that
of?
Highsmith that lives here in town that plays for Steelers?
No.
No.
No, the Highsmith is not a professional golfer. He was saying the Highsmith was so in the when you're when you're doing the pro ams, you have a different pro for the front 9 and back 9. So, I think it was Naismith is probably his name. He's a lefty, right?
Yeah.
And then you had Bramlett, which Bramlett top 10, didn't he?
Yeah, Bramlett, he was awesome. Pittsburgh, I mean, just pure. But what was kind of cool is when they were practicing, I think it was like 4. He tried to cut the corner, landed in the bunker. I can't remember. Our 4th hole, at least, because we started on the back. Landed in the bunker, tried to hit this hero shot. It went like maybe 90 yards. Just absolutely missed, kind of topped it, threw another one down, hit it to 2 feet.
Yeah.
It's like the guy that I was caddying for was so nervous on the first tee shot, he about missed the ball. And I'm like, they do it too. And 4 holes later, he hits that shot, and the guy I was caddying for is like, well, I believe you now.
Yeah.
So it's like during these I guess a pro-am rather, they kind of treat it as a practice round, but they're also entertaining the AMs that have paid all this money to play with them. So it was a pretty cool experience. A lot of walking.
Bad shots happen, right?
Yeah. If you're an AM and you're going to play in these events, the one thing that I would tell you is you've obviously paid enough money to play this round of golf. If you have a cart bag, you bring 1 dozen golf balls.
You need a whole dozen to play that round?
Just 1 dozen, not 10, and bring a stand bag, not a oversized cart bag. Makes for a long day.
They didn't have any swap outs for you?
No, they did not. It was 97 degrees, and that bag was
Were you
heavy.
double strapping? No. All right,
There
well,
was
that's
no
nice.
way. It felt like it.
Kyle would have been out of work for the
See,
week.
Kyle was carrying one of those apartment bags, like I talked about that.
Yeah.
He had a little bit of his
Did they
small
have their
village
birdie
in there.
bottle in there and everything?
Well, the guy that I caddy for is part of the Cutwater group down there. That it's a kind of like I guess like an Adams brew like here beverages. They distribute beer.
Yeah.
And then the other guy owns Mellow Mushroom and Moe's Barbecue. So it's a fun group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like it.
Will you gonna go do that again next year?
If it's more organized.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little showing up to caddy, especially that they came to our seminars and asked us to caddy. When we get down there, some players that had checked that they needed caddy showed up with their buddies after they found out who they were paired with, because obviously you had Joel Damon playing, which is, he had a big group, Kevin Kistner. So I guess at the pairings party, when they found out that they're pro, a lot of people texted their buddies to come caddy. So we all showed up, and we've got 30 of us with no loop after being begged to come down. So it just made you feel for the guy that was in charge of it, because it wasn't his fault. He did his job.
Yeah.
But he had 20 guys screaming at him for a loop because we were guaranteed to get a loop.
Right.
So makes you feel for the guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure those things are a nightmare to plan anyway.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, there's-
There's a professional, I don't think he's playing anymore. He might be retired, but he always said, pretty much because he started a business since when he retired playing golf, but he always said that Wednesday pro-ams are the most important for these golf professionals. And he essentially said that if you're a young pro that doesn't have a lot of status, or, obviously this Myrtle Beach event, all these guys are there because they're not an elevated event or they're just trying to get starts. You got to make the most of your pro-am pairings, because that guy that you might have entertained, he might come back and want to help you or sponsor you or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what
I had a
happened.
gentleman that I've given a lesson to that he actually had the opposite experience. He had a pro this week, or my brother also said they had one pro that was just the rudest guy in the entire world. Could care less to be out there.
Yeah.
That's what just doesn't make sense to me. You're only obligated to play 9 holes.
It's not that that taxing on you, realistically.
No, and it's a practice round, but
Yeah.
that's
It's also
actually
a golf course you've never seen, so you'd think
Right.
you would want
as
to be
much
out
practice
there.
you can get.
so what you just talked about. That's what happened in my group. Is with Joseph, they were just having a cool conversation. Like the guy was going back and forth, and after we got done, the guy's like, "Oh, if you're serious about wearing the logo, talking about Mellow Mushroom, let's have a talk with your agent." And
That'd be a hell of a logo to put on your shirt.
yeah, so they exchanged numbers and everything right on the ninth tee box.
Nice.
So it happens.
Mellow Mushroom, underrated. They're chicken wings. You would never think to go to Mellow Mushroom for chicken wings, but they're good.
It seems like most pizza places are pretty good with wings anyway.
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. I'm not a big Mellow Mushroom pizza guy, though. Not a big pizza guy in general.
Now I'm going to have to go try the wings.
Yeah.
Hey, we got lunch figured out today. Because there's one right here in Wrightsville Beach.
What? Oh, I always forget about
I
that.
always forget about that one.
But I think it was cool to see Myrtle Beach. A lot of the players said that the course was fantastic. Chris Gotterup, first-time winner.
Right out of Corn Ferry.
Yeah, right out of Corn Ferry. Very unconventional golf swing. His feet, his shoulders are lined 60 yards left, and he hits like a little block cut. You know, you step up, and I'm sitting there, and I forgot about this, but like he was hitting his tee shot on 18.
Lee Trevino.
And I didn't realize he doesn't strap his glove up.
Right.
He has his glove on, but like the strap's hanging down here. I mean, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, where's this? I've been on 18 that hole many of times. I was like, where's this guy aiming? I also probably need to aim 60 yards left right now, but not a bad place to get your first tour in. And I think now, does that get him in to the PGA this week?
Yeah. I was like, has to.
There was some 16-year-old kid, too, that shot 4 under on the back 9 to make the cut.
What a name. Blades Brown.
Yeah.
Guess what he plays?
Blades.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, not those cavity backs.
Are they brown?
No, they're Callaway Apex MVs.
Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
I see what you're doing. But I guess that leads us into second major of the year.
PGA Championship.
Taking Scotty Scheffler aside, what are you guys most looking forward to seeing this week?
Hopefully golf. I don't mean that as a smart ass. But the weather report is not looking good, right? Because there's rain like every day and thunderstorms.
Yeah.
Because like the last time we were at Valhalla was when Rory won, and I mean they finished in darkness because of thunderstorms.
With rain coming, those some of the best camera shots in all of golf.
Yeah. So hopefully that ended up being like a Monday thing. Yeah, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So kind of jokingly hope to see golf.
Are you going to watch golf?
It depends.
I will not be playing golf.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm excited to see how Brooks Koepka comes out.
Yeah.
He also has won in his last start.
He was last year's PGA winner, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's one guy in the field you're super excited to see.
Michael Block. Yep. We'll see if he can do Cinderella twice.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially with
Anybody want to take the over-under on miscut?
I mean, he's played nothing but golf for the last 6 months. So, I feel pretty good that he'll at least make the cut.
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of these PGA pros that get their exemptions into it, or qualified in it, not exemptions, they qualified for the PGA Championship. They're really good players.
Yeah. I haven't taken anything away from him.
Yeah, so I wouldn't doubt to see a few guys make the cut.
He's beat my ass many a times.
I mean, because if the course is playing soft, you got to think it's a PGA. Weird stuff happens during the PGA. Yeah. It's the only professional event in the world this week where players have rangefinders. They're going to play ball in hand, I'd imagine, majority of the tournament. So it's gonna be a shootout, I think, and it's going to be whoever has the luckiest draw with the conditions. That's why I'm not like actually betting on anybody, because I know the pairings are out now.
Are they out already?
Yeah, they're out already. Guess who's paired together for round 1 and 2?
Rory. Koepka in that group?
I think so. And then, but Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson.
Wow.
And
Foursome?
Tiger has the goatee.
Huh?
Foursome?
No. Like they're twosomes, but
Okay.
or no, they're playing threesomes.
Yeah.
But they pair Tiger and Phil together.
That's a harsh pairing.
Yeah, especially what's come out the last 2 weeks, where Tiger is the guy on the running the PGA Tour
Right.
Enterprises now.
Well, now he definitely is because the other guy stepped down last
yeah,
night
how about that?
out of nowhere. Especially right at
Jimmy Dunn. So he's been essentially
Really?
he's been a board member, and he was solely responsible for the framework agreement for the merger. And he pretty much has been cut off of all communication since June of last year. And then he sent a letter to the board this week resigning because no progress has been made. And he unfortunately just doesn't want to be a part of it anymore because supposedly it's only the players now that are making the decisions. They're not going to their other board members that are actually
Which means
that are actual businessmen.
if it's only the players making
That's
decisions,
Jordan Spieth.
then you know who the one player that's making all the decisions is.
Tiger Woods.
Because he's coercing all the rest of them to
Correct.
agree with
It's
him.
Tiger Woods, Patrick Cantlay, and Jordan Spieth, essentially.
Right.
And that was like why the big stink this past week with Rory winning and making the comments that he made, because they voted no to not allow him back on the board.
Right.
Because Rory wanted to get back on the board because he said no progress was being made. He wants this to be a world tour, not a
Yeah,
U.S.
Roy's kind
tour.
of gotten kicked out of the boys' club.
He got kicked out of the boys' club. Now the ownership group, which is funny, the ownership group this week created a subcommittee that the subcommittees like Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods still has access to it, and I think a couple other board members that aren't players to go through negotiations for around the tour. So it's just, when we talk about the main committee not getting anything done, and then you're creating subcommittees to kind of do the same job that the main committee is supposed to do. What does that kind of sound like? Sounds like our government. I mean,
Yeah, that too.
where there's a committee for a committee to have a committee.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, nothing is going to get done.
Right. I mean, yeah.
And the fact that Rory went out this week with all that and he was openly talked about it and won
Yeah.
proves that he's probably in a good headspace.
I mean, he played good. So
But I think that's funny that the PGA of America put Phil Mickelson, who's been openly vocal the last few weeks about Liv's involvement in golf, and then Tiger Woods together. Do you think there's going to be much conversation in that group?
what be a word spoken about?
It's going to be electric.
Tiger Woods, make or miss cut.
I mean, he shot 62 in a practice round.
Yeah, I'm
Allegedly.
going to call BS on that.
Yeah.
Huge BS on that.
It's just
Well,
media
at the
hype.
Masters, I said he's going to miss cut,
And he made the cut.
and he made the cut. So I'm going to stick with my
We were
truth.
all wrong. You're right, but wrong.
I'm gonna say he makes the cut.
Yeah. You think Tiger makes the cut?
I think Tiger makes the cut, but I think we're not going to see a top 10 finish, unfortunately.
I think, I don't know. If it plays wet and soft, he might have a chance.
Course is long.
Yeah, but
They
I mean, he's
added-
not really worried about
They added
that.
5 new tee boxes. They pretty much added almost 300 yards to the golf course.
Miscut.
Okay.
Missed cut. Okay. Not me. I think he makes it.
I'm on team made cut.
Yeah.
He's too good of a ball striker.
Yeah, I agree.
If he doesn't have the limp, I think he's going to be around 4 under. And he's going to make the cut.
Nice.
Because as soon as he started limping at Augusta, he couldn't turn.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how good you are with your hands, like he said, his score, as soon as he couldn't turn,
Mm-hmm.
out the
Skyrocketed.
window.
He shot his highest round ever as a professional golfer, I believe, right?
Like, let's say 80 something.
82, I think.
Yeah.
That was his highest
I can
round
do
as a
that.
professional golfer?
Yeah, no, that's amazing,
Dear
isn't
Lord.
it? Like,
Justin Thomas did that like 9 times last year. I'm sorry. That's a ricochet shot. I had to do it. I mean,
it's not wrong, though. I mean, but JT made a little driver change.
yeah,
Yeah,
do you
he's
have
he switched into the TSR 2 head.
that's probably my dark horse for this week.
Yeah.
Probably
Hometown.
Yeah, I mean, he played a TSI 2, but he said
Oh, I
he
saw
was,
that. He had the 9-degree head too, right?
Nah, it's a 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a 10. But he said it got him a little bit more spin with the driver, so he's getting a little straighter, a little more consistent.
You're tireless, boy. Did you see what Max Homa put in the bag last
Nah,
week and this
I
week?
didn't.
Mini driver.
Did he?
Well, Tyler calls it a 2-wood.
Well, they can call it whatever they want.
Yeah.
Mini driver.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think this week it's wide open. It's not like Augusta where you
don't
probably
know.
have your handful.
My pick, I'm going to go with the greatest iron player of all time. Taylor Gooch is my pick.
Wow.
I forgot after last week's podcast, the
Yeah.
news broke. Taylor
Yeah.
Gooch.
He's in the field.
The PGA was scared about.
Ain't no asterisk on this-
I was gonna
on
say,
this
they were
tournament.
scared about that. They were scared about that.
Ain't no asterisk on
There's
this
a couple players. So like there's a couple players that are around like 102nd to 106th in the world that didn't get in that are furious.
Yeah, there's a little bit of stink around that kind of bubble area, so to speak, for getting into this field, which, I mean, should be.
But that being
Deservedly
said,
so.
that being said, it's like the majors really at the end of the day are invitations. Yes, you can qualify into them. Well, I guess the PGA only if you're a PGA professional, you can qualify. You have a qualifying route to get into the PGA. But every other one is pretty much an invitational.
All right, this is a total off the cuff question here.
I say we gotta
it's-
get to our main
and I
topic
just,
here in a
I just
second.
thought of this. So, like, Justin Thomas was quoted. I forget where this was at. I think it was at Wells Fargo, but what the context of the question was. But JT said that he felt like the PGA Tour needed an all-star weekend where all the best players play each other.
I thought that's what these damn elevated
That's
events are.
what I was thinking. Like these elevated events, the signature series held the majors, right?
So
The
essentially,
playoffs.
what's happened is they've created these elevated events, and they're like, "How the hell is Webb Simpson still here?"
Right. What? How can I make this easier for me? I read that comment somewhere from one of his, I guess, news conferences or press conferences, and I just kind of laughed at it for a second. I forgot about it until just then. But
Sorry, our number one listener just texted me.
dang.
I'm sure you guys know who that is.
Um,
Tommy P. No, I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
I just thought it was
I think
a
they're
funny
just.
thing
I
to
just
say.
think they're just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah.
That said, what leading into kind of the biggest thing that we want to talk about, I think that relates to all golfers, right? What's probably one of the most important decisions you can make with your golf bag?
Or what's the most important part of the golfer's equipment?
It's definitely the golf ball.
Why is that?
Because so many people get it wrong and so many people fit it incorrectly.
The reason why the golf ball is the most important thing in your golf bag is because
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
it's the only part of your
right
equipment
into
that
it.
you use on every shot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, here we go.
So you have to, and a lot of
Please enlighten us, Mr. Caleb.
to your point, a lot of people don't really consider it part of their equipment. They just view it as, I can play any old golf ball. Be fine.
Let me just play what I
Right.
find in the creek.
If I find my ball
Or
in the
pond.
creek, I'm still probably playing.
We're looking at you, Miles. Why is that
Speaking
wrong?
of airplane bags or whatever you called them.
Apartment bags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Why is that
Everybody's
wrong,
shots.
Daryl? What's bad about playing just random golf balls, any old golf ball?
Because you don't know how they're going to react,
Okay.
you know?
We've lost it.
You get 1-piece, 2-piece golf balls, 4-piece golf balls, different compression rates. I mean, they have no clue what they're just.
Well, biggest thing at the end of the day, what are all the balls covers made out of now?
Urethane for the most
Or
part,
Cerulin,
or
yeah.
sertraline.
Which does what over time? Absorbs water.
Yeah, I say it degrades.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing why you probably want to stay away from the refurbished ball market. But also, like, if you find a ball that's in a pond that looks like it's probably been in there for, I mean, if it's been underwater,
If it's
submerged
starting
for
to yellow
like,
a little bit, like
Yeah.
that kind of tannish color to it.
the ball is going to be slightly deformed. But
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, if I find a decent ball, it's going into my shag bag. That's for chipping and stuff. Because I hate to say it, almost 90% of golf courses, their range balls are absolute garbage. So I'd rather kind of create my own shag bag to take to the range that if the balls are just a slight better, that have less of a chance of cracking my driver face,
Yep.
I'm going to hit with those. But I know we all brought kind of our golf balls that we play, but like, let's talk a little bit about how would one go about kind of doing their own ball fitting or getting fit for a ball?
I'll say, well, if you're kind of experimenting between, so you have a couple of different golf balls you typically play, and I prescribe to the Titleist ball fitting process. I think it makes the most sense, but where they start is on the green and around the green.
I agree.
And you know, they're the number one indicating factor about which ball to play is feel preference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, using like the Pro V1 family as a model, you know, you have the Pro V1 is going to be softer feeling, Pro V1X is going to be firmer feeling. So depending on what you like the feel of with your putter or in your wedges, like chip shots around the greens, that's kind of the feel you start with. So you kind of put a check mark in that one side. Then you move out to a little bit longer wedge shots and work your way back to the tee box. The number one driving factor, or the last driving factor is driving,
Exactly.
right? The most important factor is
You build your golf ball
green
around
side.
the rest of your bag, mainly irons and wedges.
yeah.
You know, that 15 to 40 yard shot is kind of where I see it being probably the amount of spin that you can get and create from that. So using something like GC Quad or TrackMan, and if you don't have that, you know, that's what a ball fitting is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so being able to see that you spin a wedge at 5,500 from 15 to 40 yards versus 4,200, you know, and I'm taking the one that's 5,500.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing, and I would say this relates more to the average golfer, right? Majority of amateur players that either I work with or I see when I'm playing golf is they play a golf ball that's told that it's softer compression, it's going to be faster off the tee, they're going to compress it more, and then they get around the greens and they're hitting chip shots that should have at least a little bit of check to it. And
it just
that ball takes that forward hop.
Yeah, it's like just jumping off
It
the
just
club
jumps
face.
off the face. And the telltale sign of that is that your golf ball is way too soft.
Yeah.
Now, we're told all the time that, or this is where probably I'm going to differ from everybody. I think really golf ball off driver really doesn't matter. I think once you find a group of balls that perform the best with your wedges and your irons, right, then you kind of take those and hit them with the driver just to make sure nothing's wonky. But pretty much every single ball on this table right here, I could play with my driver, and it's going to be within 10 yards of each other.
Yeah.
But all four of these golf balls on this table are going to feel completely different off my putter.
Yes.
And that's where putter and wedges, like putter for the most part, I would say putter's probably the number one factor for me. And that's why I made a ball switch this year. Because previously I was always a Titleist Pro V1 guy. And then the Pro V1 kind of within Titleist flip-flopped. So I'd probably be a left dash or a Pro V1X guy now. Just for that spin around the greens. I switched to Callaway. So I played the Callaway Chrome Soft X. They have too many names.
That's what I'm saying. You experimented with the LS for a little while too, right?
That old LS just did not get in the air with my irons. And then now, switching to their new Chrome Series balls, I'm actually in the Chrome Tour. Now, the Chrome Tour is technically their lowest spinning ball they've ever made. But when I was hitting the Chrome X around the greens, the ball just felt like a rock. And I don't like that feeling. I kind of want the ball to feel like it's on my wedge for a long time.
Yeah.
And off the putter, it was too clicky. And that's even with me using a putter that has an insert. So I would say the positives of this Chrome Tour ball that I'm playing is that the sound and then the spin around the green is most important. It might be a touch too low spinning for me off the driver, but not enough to where I'm only going to change everything else for that. And I think too many golfers try to change their golf ball because of the driver,
Right.
and they don't realize what they're sacrificing the rest
I
of the
would
game.
I would honestly almost say that the driver would be the easiest. Yeah, the driver would almost be the easiest club to tailor to a golf ball, right? So if you've picked a golf ball that feels good around the greens, but you're just getting just a hair too much spin with the driver, or maybe it's launching just a hair too high.
Then we can click-clack the driver a
Right,
little
so
bit.
it's really simple to adjust that driver just a little bit to get it back into an operating window that works for that golf ball.
Now, Kyle, how much spin does it take off a driver to really change the yardage by a club?
Like one full club?
Yeah. Like, let's say 12 yards,
I mean, 12 yards, you're probably talking 300 to 600 spin revs.
right?
So if you're adding 600 spin revs and going from 26 to 3,000, I mean, that might be 20 yards based off of.
The launch conditions.
Right.
You know, so like, yes, it's still important off of driver, but like, let's just say we had the same launch and the spin was 300 RPMs of difference, your difference in yardage maybe will be less than a club. So is that worth sacrificing around the greens where if one ball isn't going to spin at all?
Right.
Well,
And
and you're
then-
only hitting driver 11 times. You're hitting irons and wedges 40 to 80 times.
You could hit it 14.
Well, you could.
Yeah.
Caleb hits driver. I don't
14
think Caleb's 3-wood has left his head cover.
Yeah, I hit it 3 times on Saturday.
On par 5. Second shot.
Yeah, and well, and tee shot on 16 on the river course because you got to keep it short of that.
Now, that being said, right, we bring up a good point. How many golf balls are there out there on the market now?
There's a bunch.
There are a
There are a
lot.
bunch.
And what's the average price of a dozen balls now?
$40. Yeah.
Huh?
40 to
$44.
$45.
Yeah. And which I know that's not in everyone's budget. And I think a lot of these companies now are making a great golf ball that's in that $30 to $35 dozen route that still is going to have slightly different covers from one another. So you could still do some testing.
Yeah.
So if you're going up and grabbing and you want to make sure you don't want to break the bank and grab a dozen balls, still kind of do a little bit of thinking with it to where it's like you don't want to go and grab the softest ball possible.
Right.
Someone told me one time, and it was a good phrase: softer, slower, lower, firmer, faster, further, is what I was told.
Pretty much.
Facts.
So I had someone come up to me recently, one of my high school students, parents, trying to explain this to them that he said, I can play a noodle. My kid can play a noodle and just as well as he could play because I gave all the kids TP5Xs for the state championship.
Nice.
Except for one, and that was my little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave her a different ball.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we debunked that really quickly because we on our practice round, I gave her a noodle with a driver, and she hit a TP5X with a driver because that's what I had in my pocket, and she hit the X.
I say it probably stayed in the air longer.
Yeah, stayed in the air much longer.
So we see it quite a bit to where in fittings now, right? We can change a ball between swings, and I do that quite a bit to where if I see a setup that this guy's hitting well with driver, I'll do a quick little ball change.
Yeah, just so
and
you
then
get
they'll
a little bit
then
different
they'll
window.
see something and like let's just say the average golfer swings the driver probably 85 to 90 miles per hour. Let's just say 90 to 95, right? So that means they're flying their driver around 225 and it's going 245.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of those guys are probably either playing a TaylorMade Tour Response, True Feel, or kind of something those slightly softer compressions, but still have really good covers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put a Pro V1X and they hit it, and then they pick up 7
10
yards.
yards,
7 yards of carry, and it's just that little bit of that firmness, right? They might not be compressing the ball as much, but
that's a myth. But that's a myth.
That's a myth too. Yeah.
I say and actually Titleist has done a lot of research. The lower the compression the golf ball is, yes, the more it compresses,
But the slower it comes off.
but the slower it leaves the club face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that I would say number one misconception in golf balls across the industry as a general is thinking that for X club head speed, I must play a golf ball with this golf
this
ball.
compression.
And so
Right,
the
with this compression.
AVX, just to clarify, was not built for the senior player.
Yes, that is correct. It's,
You know,
it's designed to
there's
launch
so
slow
many-
and fly
there's so
flat.
If you are looking for a ball that goes low,
Yeah,
Yes.
flies flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
great golf ball.
Yeah. I just get so many older guys that come in
Yeah.
and say, I need the AVX ball.
Mhm.
Like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try
Kyle-
Pro V1X instead.
Exactly.
And their mind's blown when
I
they
know.
hear that.
They're like,
'Cause they're like,
I don't have enough club head speed for that ball.
yeah, they're like, well,
Club
what do
head
you,
speed does not matter.
well, then you ask them, what are you struggling with? Like, I can't get the ball in the air enough. It's like, well, you need a golf ball with a firmer
I need to
core,
carry it further.
so you can hit it higher and get it to carry in there.
Yeah.
Which
longer.
I'm not going to say the Pro V1X is always
The answer. But it's
I
just
mean,
a
you have the
juxtaposed to
Strixon
AVX.
Q-Star
it is.
Tour.
Yes.
You have so many balls that are high spinning golf balls, right? Now, Kyle, you got an interesting ball in front of you.
I'm really proud of you for saying that without no hesitation.
He didn't think about it.
Yeah,
He just
just flowed.
New year, new me.
Yeah. So I've been kind of in that ball testing, kind of ball fitting mode this past off season. I've played Pro V1s for basically 13 years. And when I wasn't playing Pro V1s, I was playing TP5s. And the last 2 years, I've kind of had the freedom to play whatever I want. So kind of like what we were saying earlier, I could care less how it feels off the driver. I mean, I'm fortunate I hit it far enough that I don't really worry about yardage off the driver.
Thanks,
But
Kyle.
Where
Sitting here on my high horse.
well, I mean,
Like you got one to talk. Good God.
so I mean, when I was going through my ball testing this year, irons is where I needed help because I started getting some speed back and I wasn't spinning my irons enough. So I started hitting these basically hooks out of nowhere. And when we saw it happen on Launch Monitor, my irons are starting to spin 2,000-3,000 spin revs less.
Yeah.
So I made an iron change, but also made a ball change to the new Wilson staff. It's actually yellow too.
Yeah.
So the yellow just kind of caught my eye because it's a little bit different of a color.
It's like almost like a lime greenish.
Yeah, so
I like
it's not a normal yellow, and I can actually see it flight. But mainly off the wedges. Inside of 50 yards and off my putter, I can feel everything the ball does.
I haven't played it on the golf course, but just hitting it in the bays and kind of testing around with it, I actually do like the way that Wilson feels and the way it performs.
If we're going to go off characteristics of your ball that
It's the
you like to
closest
play,
golf ball
it's
to
the
mine.
closest golf ball to yours.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Well, so I tried left dash, and I just couldn't control it or spin it enough.
Right.
So the only thing that I had issue with the Wilson was I've never had a ball that I've put in play and I was instantly longer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the first round of golf I played with it, every iron I had, I was 10, 12 yards over the green.
Yeah.
And after putting it on GC Quad, I found out why I'm a full club and a half longer with this ball over my old golf ball.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun switch. And for me, it's all about putter.
Great bang for your buck.
Yeah.
If you're looking for that feel, that quality of the tour inspired balls, but I mean, what
Under
are they?
$50.
I'll say
Yeah.
42 a dozen.
I think 44, and right now they're buy two, get one free.
So
Wow.
I do like the way that ball feels and the way it sounds good too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's part of that.
And they went back to I'm an old school guy. They went back to the original Wilson shield and font. So it kind of brings back that 60s, 70s nostalgia too.
Yeah, old school logo.
I like it.
what ball are you playing?
So I play TP5X. I too have had some issues this year with the ball falling out of the sky, and not being able to spin the irons enough. And I've been playing TP5 and TP5X back and forth forever, all the way back down to Tour Preferred.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the tour preferred.
And
My
then
favorite
before
today
that,
was the lethal, but
yeah, you had the Lethal, the Penta.
the TPs, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the I like that original TP Red LDP,
TP Red and
the
black.
very first one.
Yeah.
That TP Red was a good ball.
So I think we kind of, don't shoot me for this, TaylorMade, but we really kind of had a rough couple of years with the previous ball. And finally this year, the golf ball, going to the TP5X, and reason for me is that I needed to hit it just a little bit higher because the driver for me made the ball flight come way down. Kyle and I went through 4 or 5 different shafts this year trying to get a shaft combination that worked, and finally we kind of nicked it. But also too, the spin and the feel around the greens really came back for me. I was knuckling, like the ball was not, it would land and then roll out.
So you were playing the old TP5,
Yeah.
like the 2022 version, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, with my TP program, we got our Loggerhead turtle right there, and then the NC State
Rory's golf ball was awesome.
silhouette.
Rory's golf ball was awesome.
What was on his?
He no number said Rory.
Oh,
Yeah, he did it's a new thing in my TP. That
better
you
not
can
hit
do.
the wrong ball.
That's Rory's ball. And then what ball I think we've talked about this.
We've talked about it a little bit, but I'm playing the Pro V1X left dash. I've been playing it pretty much since it came out. Reason why I play it, quite honestly, it started for me with putter. On putter, I mean, I try to play a putter that has a milled face, but no milling marks or patterns, like a smooth milled face.
Does it create less hook spin?
No, I can hook anything with a putter. No, ain't no fixing that. So like with a putter, I prefer a lot of sound, like a lot of feel. I like a very firm golf ball with putter, so I can get as much response as possible. So basically, when I was testing between golf balls, I started there, and it came down between the Pro V1 for me was too soft, too quiet, too muted of sound for putter. So Pro V1X and Pro V1X left dash. Basically, where my search, kind of how my ball fitting just ended, was between the two, the Pro V1X and Pro V1X left dash. I've generally been a pretty high spin player, particularly with irons and wedges. So Pro V1X, once I got into my mid irons, I didn't feel like I could flight it any longer. It was just enough spin, it was always ballooning up.
Yeah.
So Pro V1X left dash helped flatten that ball flight a little bit.
I've
where I
seen
can
you take a
control
brand new
trajectory
golf ball
better.
and shave the cover off of it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, with a wedge, it might not last long, you know. So
Yeah.
I can't help that I'm steep.
I'd say biggest thing is if you have any questions about the golf ball that you're playing or any recommendations on golf balls that are similar, what you're looking for, it's a lot easier of a conversation you would think.
Yeah.
And everyone goes to the apps, or online, and then they ask you the number one question: what's your club head speed? That does not.
What's your desired height? What are you hitting it now?
Just kind of reiterate to our listeners, it is about centeredness of contact. We talk about smash factor, but centeredness of contact will determine how fast that ball is going to leave the face. And if you're hitting it on the toe, it's not going to leave as fast.
Yeah.
Or off the
Unless
heel.
you're playing New Callaway. I'm sorry.
Wow. But yes.
Well, do you want to know a fun fact about the old TP5?
What's that?
Do you know what ball speed you needed to actually compress the core?
What's that?
60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So that theory of club head speed matters for what ball you play has been
I was
debunked
gonna say,
so
people
many
don't realize
times.
too, like Pro V1, I think is around an 82, 83 compression golf ball.
What's
Like-
the left dash?
Left dash was 103, 104.
This Chrome Tour is 88.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
yeah, so your club head speed does not determine what compression golf ball you need to play. It's about ball flight. If you're hitting the ball too low, we need to switch to something that's going to go higher. If you're hitting the ball too high, maybe we need to switch to something that goes a little lower.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
And just testing.
Yeah,
There's so many good brands out there.
don't knock it till you try it.
that's right.
Let's go to show and tell.
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow. I'm gonna say flush because just the handwork on that's not laser etched.
No, that's all stamped. Yeah.
That's all stamped. Wow.
What's the artist? Is it Salvador Dali that did painting the screen
Dude, what?
with like the figure, their hands on their face and the screen? Was that Salvador Dali?
You are asking the wrong crowd.
I
here.
realize that. I know. I know.
I'm surprised Tina
I'm
was
sorry. Yeah.
Are you really? You really?
Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's right. That's what it reminds me of, is that kind of style of art.
That's really cool.
Smooth jazz fan.
It's Birdie.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Functional art.
Yeah, I love it.
I wouldn't play him again.
Took a lot of time to do that, I'm sure. Yeah, Birdie. A lot of stamping. Who did that? I saw Muras who posted it.
Kilimanjaro or whatever.
I saw this.
That's a shank.
Huh?
Was this a spoof? Like,
I think this was a spoof, yes.
It's a golden doodle bag.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
Just no.
I say so what we got is a golf bag with a cover on it that makes it look like a golden doodle or a labradoodle. I think this is awesome.
You would.
What I can't get over is how often I see the Crown Royal bags hanging
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah. It's like
That's
I
wild.
wouldn't be surprised if this
That's
didn't catch on. It's a hell of an idea.
That's
It's
wild.
a hell of an idea.
People already complain about paying $200 for a bag, and then they're going to
That
sell
thing
it.
But you know what?
probably
People
500.
would spend money for that. It's just it's
Really?
not the whole golf bag. Yeah, it's just a cover over the golf
They're
bag.
gonna sell out.
It like zips around your golf bag.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. I will
With
say
all
this.
the
That's what's
PETA
up.
animal lovers that we
Going,
have.
you going on a buddy's golf trip or whatever. That's
This
a
would be the
good.
fun-
That's
yes.
a good little prank.
Yeah,
right
I love
there.
my dog,
I say
and I've got a Labrador, but no, I just can't.
Can I pet that dog?
Pet that dog.
No. You hit one mud hole, that's done for.
well,
I,
wash
again,
it.
I would say 100%. That's going to be a great prank for a buddy's
Yeah.
trip.
I know Kyle says Shane.
I'm Shark Tank on this one. I'm out, dog. We'll find them on the clearance rack.
Y'all shanking it?
Okay.
I'm a bogey. I'm a bogey.
I'll
it, but-
bogey it.
It's flush.
Wow.
I think it's hilarious. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
I would think there'd be some like other cool animals or something like that.
I mean, that's just getting started. You know, you can do like if it's like a raccoon cover of your bag. You know, you'd like that.
Bandit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a duck cover. Miles would love that.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. I think the one on the right is an absolute shank. I think the linen shirt on the golf course is actually pretty cool. Jason Day wore that at Quail this past week.
I mean, he looks like what's his name from Caddyshack? Ron,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know who you're talking
I
about.
get what you're saying.
the guy with the red
And
bag.
then also the old cross stitch belt. I forgot what you call those belts, but they disintegrate over time.
Looks like
Say
we went back
stole
to
it off a
1960s
homeless guy in
and
Charlotte.
70s.
Dude,
Yeah.
no, give me the linen shirt all day right there.
Yeah, it
Dude,
looks
that
like
thing
it
had to
came-
be so comfortable to play golf in.
Ugh.
What is
So
going
much-
on with those pants?
So much
though, on the
room for
right?
activities.
I don't know.
Is it just stitching to have stitching?
Man, that's
on
a
it?
flush right there.
That is just so bad in every way. It's just
Flush.
shank for me.
Flush.
I say birdie. No, wear what? I don't care. Wear whatever you want to,
Yeah,
Jason.
whatever
Dave.
you want to.
I mean, hell, he's made a lot more money playing golf than I have.
Me too. Still it means it's not ugly.
You do you, bud.
Would Augusta allow him to wear those pants?
No.
Probably not, but it don't matter. That's not Augusta.
If someone broke into your house and you had a golf club next to your bed to defend yourself, do you think you would still overlap or interlock? Wow. Well, speaking of breaking in, my truck got broken into this weekend. Gotta love Wilmington.
Well, if you had a golf club,
Gotta love Wilmington,
what
North
grip do
Carolina.
you think you would have used?
My Glock.
That's true. What kind of grip do you have on your Glock?
Yeah.
The kind that shoots.
Stippled. I think I would instinctively interlock.
I
Like if I'm grabbing a golf club, don't matter what the
it's
context of the situation is, I'm overlocking.
Because
you
if
know?
even if I grip the club with one hand, I'm like this.
Yeah,
My pointer finger is never on the club.
right.
I mean, I think if I'm getting ready to beat the crap out of somebody, I'm just grabbing it like that and just sending it.
I think
That way, if it breaks, you can stab him with it.
I think I'm so wired that if I grab a golf club, it doesn't matter context. I'm going to interlock. You know,
Wow.
I think I might
I'm
say
probably
what
going to
I'm
hold it like a
interlock.
baseball bat, like a baseball grip. And I'm going to hang
No.
here in that thing.
Which club are you reaching for first?
And
Probably 7-iron
I'm going wedge
wedge.
all day.
heavier.
Well, you got to think it's the stiffest club in your bag,
Yeah,
shortest.
true.
So you
Don't
don't
have
want
as
to grab.
much-
You don't want to grab a long.
You don't
one.
have as much reach with that though,
No,
because
Huh?
the 7-iron has got a little bit more reach. Still plenty stiff enough in
Yeah,
the
you
shaft.
grab a driver, it's going to break the first time, and then all you
got
can do is
6'4"
stab them with a
wingspan.
fiberglass shaft.
we probably need to back off the stabbing part.
You thought we're overthinking this here. I just asked what we're going to use, not how.
We're
Not
just asking
how.
about what grip you're going to use to hit them with it. You know.
By any means necessary.
Okay. We got to wrap this up.
All right, I'm going interlock. Normal grip interlock.
Yeah.
End of story.
Cool. Well, I don't know how you ended after that, but
Demonetization happening right there.
yeah, poke aggressively
Yeah.
instead of stab. Well, thanks for listening. If you guys,
Should have broke in.
And that's all, folks.
we'll be here next week with a new episode. If you haven't
Hopefully.
already.
Like and subscribe. Make sure you push
All right, we're
push
done.
bell notifications.